you looked outside, the sky was orange.
A glowing inferno filled the dark of night in Petersburg as decades of history go up in flames.
And people were just running frantically, knocking on doors, telling everybody to get out. There was a fire.
Firefighters racing against time Tuesday morning to prevent the monster of a fire engulfing the centuries-old Seward Luggage Company from spreading to 85 homes at the High Street lofts.
You see, your apartment is on fire right now.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Onlookers watched as portions of the building crumbled. As the sun rose, a better look at the destruction. Cars smoldering, bricks scattered all over High Street, and the realization some families lost everything.
At least 3 of the townhomes are totally destroyed, and they're actually still on fire now still.
As crews continue to work to put out the flames, this mother and son are counting their blessings.
I have my son, and we're fine. So that's all that matters. God is good.
We were just jumping on the trampoline out back.
The moments after. A calm afternoon in Highland Springs ends.
Yeah, we're ready to go pick up his little brother from the bus stop and everything, and a plane just crashed out of nowhere.
The middle of the school day at Highland Springs High School.
My son texted me from the school and let me know that a plane had crashed in the baseball field.
An emergency landing near second base.
Okay, folks, if you could, I'm bringing this tape over.
While securing the scene,
we got emergency vehicles coming in. I need you to move back, please.
School leaders keep the high school students inside the building.
Look at the kids in the class. They ain't doing no work.
I thought the kids, they would have let them go home.
How?
Give them some time to sort things out, okay? They got everything on lockdown right now, okay?
The high school sits a little more than 3 miles from the airport. Whew. Engine failure on its approach caused the Cessna to go down, officials say.
Knocked out all the power in the area right here.
The plane clipped a power line before crashing. Dominion crews quickly chip away at outages.
Henrico County, Virginia. Plane crashed at the Highland Springs High School.
A sight that grabbed a lot of attention.
I was scared, to be honest. I didn't know what was going to happen and making sure if the person was okay or not also.
And thanks, because officials say no one, even the pilot, was hurt.
This is wonderful. I'm just thanking God that my son and nobody else got hurt. God is good.
God is great.
Yes.
A torrential downpour falls at the Dorset Market Thursday night.
Where I'm going to stay tonight, in the car, maybe.
With rising floodwaters outside, Wanda Canny is stranded.
It's pretty deep up here at the church, and you come around and you just kind of park. So best to park than get drowned.
She's still miles away from her home in Farmville.
We're probably another 40-minute drive.
All of a sudden, the lights go out. With the rain seemingly never ending.
Look at this. Oh, that car, it'll flood out. Oh my God. Oh, look at it. Look at how much water.
This driver hits a ditch.
So it was sinking fast.
That's Robin Michael in the driver's seat. Thanks to an off-duty Chesterfield officer on his way home, helps Michael to higher ground.
When I turned, I immediately started sinking, and I knew that I had hit the ditch. And I put it in reverse, and of course, it didn't go anywhere.
Thanks to some good Samaritans, also stuck because of the floods, everyone here is safe.
I just thank God that my kids or my grandkids were not in the car.
Oh, Angel.
9 o'clock Monday morning. Regina Allen.
I'll give her son home like she ain't had to go to school.
Joins the group of parents and grandparents in Mosby Court getting their kids off to school. But this morning,
I hope that she'll be able to go outside in peace and be able to play.
They're greeted with a different view from the bus stop. Gregory Buck.
I walk past here every day to go to work.
Saw it too.
I never seen this though.
Evidence of a Sunday night crime.
A lot of young people is dying these days.
Police say they found the body of a male teenager between these two buildings just after 11.
That young man always talking about trying to get out of the projects.
just 2 hours after they found a 17-year-old with a graze wound on this same block. Alan and the rest of the community here remember the man killed.
I see him going to school, always carrying his book bags around because he played basketball.
Alan says it's a cycle.
The bad part about it is the younger people don't even know no better. It's almost becoming to the part that it's normal.
One she hopes can be stopped.
The project means build.
For the generations to come.
It takes a tribe to raise a family. The violence, to me, has to stop. It has to stop.
How y'all today? You can come get some fireworks?
Frank Hall calls himself a people person.
Hi there, how are y'all today?
His friends call him Uncle Frank.
Ouch. Come on in and check us out.
With no shortage of American pride, he stands on the corner of Atlee and Meadow Bridge Road.
We got some good stuff.
In Hanover County, buying and shooting off fireworks is all part of celebrating July 4th.
I had calls this morning. Somebody was coming from Virginia Beach. Somebody was coming from Norfolk. I had somebody up in Fairfax called me this morning.
But in other parts of Central Virginia, it's illegal.
Some people in the Churchill neighborhood not happy about the fireworks they say they've been hearing in the past week. They're taking to social media to post their comments. Here, Emily M. says, I have anxious dogs in an old balloon frame house that spreads fire super fast. She's just one of the many making comments. And Kiana McCormick.
My heart was beating. I was palpitating right fast.
Heard them too.
Fireworks been going off for like the past 3-4 days. My grandmother even said it.
McCormick says she was walking down North 25th Street around 9:30 Tuesday night.
It's the loud pow that gets you.
When she heard what she thought were gunshots until
the next one went off and you saw it in the air.
Laws in most of Central Virginia prohibit all types of fireworks. If you're caught, it's a Class 1 misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail. Lieutenant Chris Armstrong with the Richmond Fire Department says shooting off fireworks has led to serious injuries in the area.
Unfortunately, a young man in the city of Richmond did lose some of his fingers as a result of a fireworks incident.
But the fireworks didn't faze everyone in the Churchill neighborhood, like Blake Hurlick.
Personally, it doesn't really bother me at all, as long as people aren't leaving trash around or doing it at 3 a.m.
And it certainly doesn't bother Uncle Frank.
Bombs bursting in the air. You think the Star Spangled Banner. It's just being a patriot.
It stands at silent attention.
Tragic. It was just tragic.
A stone cross honoring Joseph Barr.
Your whole life changes.
But unlike most burial sites at Richmond National Cemetery,
I can't believe he's not coming home.
The Henrico man's grave is empty.
He is probably 7 or 8.
Barbara Gilliam holds tight to memories of her younger brother.
Everybody loved him. He was just really sort of a fun-loving young man, little boy.
Memories are all that remain.
We sort of felt like we had each other.
To this day, Barbara wishes she could have protected her only sibling a half-century ago.
He had decided he wanted to become a state trooper just before he left.
At 20, the Highland Springs High graduate joins the U.S. Navy.
I think it gave him confidence. I think it taught him discipline.
February 1968, Joseph and 98 other crew members sail from Norfolk on the USS Scorpion. The nuclear-powered sub's destination, the Mediterranean, for a 3-month deployment against the backdrop of a simmering Cold War.
They were on a mission. And the mission was following Russia.
In May, the Scorpion skipper radios ahead. The sub is returning home. On the 27th, families wait anxiously at Pier 2 at Naval Station Norfolk. The sub never appears and never will.
I had gotten home from work and someone called me.
Something catastrophic happened under the sea.
The nuclear attack submarine, USS Scorpion, SSN 589, has been reported overdue at Norfolk.
The nuclear sub is overdue in high seas, the USS Scorpion, with 99 aboard, last contacted May the 21st.
The Navy launches a massive search by air and sea.
any signs at all, anything is seen in the water, debris, dye markers, anything it can see in the water that would give indication that something is there.
June 5th, the sub is declared lost. Barbara's fading hope turns to grim reality.
Submarine hunt still fruitless.
5 months later, in October of that year, the Scorpion's wreckage is found off the coast of the Azores.
It was just really bad. You just don't believe it could ever happen to you or your family.
The sub's entire crew, 99 souls, including Barbara's brother Joseph, rest 2 miles below the surface.
I'm sorry.
Questions still linger about what happened. A mechanical failure, rogue torpedo, or something more sinister.
The Navy never will say it was torpedoed by Russia. In my heart, I know that's what happened to them. I can feel it.
The sinking of the Scorpion remains one of history's biggest maritime mysteries.
And all the families and what they went through, it really is a tragedy.
All of these years later, Barbara still harbors ill feelings.
I really don't like to go to the beach. I just don't like to go to the water. To me, it's his gravesite.
The whole thing was pretty tragic loss for the Navy.
Retired submariner John Donaldson is the liaison between the Navy and Scorpion families.
Something had happened on board that they were not able to recover from.
John understands Barbara's pain, but does not think the Russians were responsible.
I think there's some anger among some of the family members that they don't know what happened. It's natural.
A monument sits at Pier 2 where loved ones waited for their sailors to
The
return.
Navy will never, ever forget the Scorpion.
Commander Sarah Self-Kyler, public affairs officer with the submarine force at Norfolk, says each sailor carries a small part of the Scorpion.
I would absolutely consider this area hallowed ground. Not only do the Scorpion families, but the submariners of the submarine force know that this location is an important part of our history.
Whew. I would have given my life for him. PO2 Keith Alexander Martin.
50 years later, the sinking of the sub.
PO2 George Giles Annable. FN Joseph Anthony Barr Jr.
And loss of her crew.
PO2 Michael John Bailey. PO3 Michael Reed Blake.
Haunts the military and loved ones to this day.
I always wanted to think of him on an island somewhere, but I know better.
Whatever was responsible for the Scorpion disaster in May of '68, Barbara realizes nothing will ever bring Joseph back.
And I know he's watching over us, so that gives me consolation.
With no answers, Joseph Barr's big sister holds on tight to her memories. It's all she has.
I don't think you ever get over it. You cope with it and you move on, but it's always there.
Hey, how's it going?
The store's name is synonymous with secrecy, but word is spreading.
Hot classics?
About Sub Rosa.
And then that's it for another 2 minutes.
The bakery at 25th and Jefferson is fast becoming a landmark beyond Church Hill.
That's a nice one, huh?
Tempting tarts and fresh flatbreads draw hungry customers far and wide.
I probably am here 1 or 2 times a week.
Bakers Evram and Aveen Dough. Yes, Dough. Opened in 2012.
Once we found this kind of perfect spot on multiple levels, then it became really real.
In 6 years, the siblings and their custom brick oven have attracted national attention.
The ingredients on all of them is the grain, water, and salt.
And that's it.
100% from our mill.
Sub Rosa is contending for a James Beard Award.
Wow, really? Cool.
Which is akin to an Oscar in the food industry.
These are quiche, little individual quiche.
The pastries are incredible, so it's easy to see why. My friend was just saying that she's here. She said that it could have been better than the one she had in Paris, so I think that's pretty good.
No loafing here.
Start to get muscles doing this.
The day's long, the work grueling, especially in the early days.
There was no time that we left, really. We would just go upstairs to sleep.
But the Does never let the flour-covered routine weigh them down.
We call it bakery sitting.
The children of Turkish immigrants, Evrim began by selling his artisanal breads at farmers markets.
And this is how you stay fit as a baker. You just don't stop moving.
Evine learned pastry making from scratch.
The idea is just to move the top to the bottom and the bottom to the top.
The dough's secret? Need natural ingredients with lots of passion.
When you're in the trenches together, you get along because you have to. And we just naturally get along too.
The brother and sister may be rising to the top, but their journey has been anything but a cakewalk. 5 years ago,
April 3rd, 2013.
their phones rang in the middle of the night. The bakery was burning.
It was just a tenant of ours saying, the building's on fire. That's the only, and then it hung up. And I, just leaped out of bed.
A discarded cigarette ignited the building.
And I see everybody lined up watching. The neighborhood was kind of out.
I just remember running to the firefighters and asking, is everyone okay?
The dough's business was going up in smoke and watered down.
We come in and the oven, which is this symbol of, the fire and hearth, has water dripping on it as if it's raining inside. I mean, that's surreal.
Damages topped more than $400,000. But not once did the doughs consider walking away.
We were just so in that cycle that we just couldn't imagine not being open somehow.
Customers and other business owners rallied, raising nearly $30,000 towards repairs.
There's a sense of community, but then there's almost a sense of family. And when you go through a crisis, you see the difference between the two. It makes it vibrant, makes you feel like you want to stay here.
Awesome, thank you.
9 months removed from the fire, Evine and Evrim relit the oven.
But when we reopened, we had a line all the way around the door.
Much to the delight of their growing clientele.
The food's delicious.
Evine and Evrim share a bond thicker than dough, building on their reputation while baking a legacy.
Sometimes it'll be important for us to just stop and say, so how are you doing?
Yeah.
How's life? How is life?
Despite the recognition and nomination, they remain humble.
It's very satisfying.
These siblings are only letting their success go to their bread.
That makes us want to keep going, keep doing what we're doing and do it better.
For the better part of the last 2 decades, the Richmond Ice Zone in Chesterfield has been helping foster a love for hockey in Central Virginia. A decidedly northern pastime in the heart of the Old South.
I mean, they'd probably come 7 days a week if their wives would let them. They're just, it's such a great group of guys.
Yeah, no fooling.
While there are hundreds of athletes that come here to pursue and perfect their chosen sport or craft,
You got time.
it's Thursday nights that bring the most joy to the ice.
Eddie. It's great exercise, the camaraderie, just the game is great. Never get sick of playing the game. You want to play D with me?
It doesn't take 3 periods of watching these guys skate around to realize they are no longer kids in appearance, but Thursday nights return them to kids at heart.
This night it's about going out and playing the game we love and having fun.
There are only 2 rules here.
And this group is for guys over 35.
And you have to love hockey.
There's no referees, no scorekeeper. They call their own offsides. And they just all love being here and seeing each other every week.
John Lovell is the Ice Zone's hockey director. The former Richmond Renegade helped to create this league and considers it his favorite of all the hockey played on his ice.
Nice pass.
The games last around 90 minutes. The evenings last a lot longer.
And they'll hang out. Like I said, they got mad at me because they play for an hour and they drink for 4. They stayed here till about 2 in the morning usually. Metamucil was a topic one day. They talked about Metamucil for about 2 hours.
It's a very different feel after playing 5 nights in 8 days to not play for a week.
The medical talk has gotten more serious at times.
I was skating one night and I felt a twinge in my chest.
In nearly 6 decades on the ice, that was a first for Patrick Defer.
And people ask me, they say, did you have a heart attack? Was there pain?
A teammate at the time, who was a registered nurse, insisted he see a doctor, or that teammate was going to rat on Patrick to his wife.
I had the stress test. My doctor said, you might have a slight blockage. So he puts me in for catheterization. I come out of the anesthesia and the doctor says, yeah, you're scheduled for quadruple bypass tomorrow morning.
Patrick's heart was between 75 and 95% blocked. Doctors told him his body had compensated for the blockage with what's called collateral blood flow, the heart working around the problem to supply the body with oxygen.
So the collateral blood flow was keeping me alive. So I really attribute hockey to saving my life.
If he had stopped playing hockey, his doctor said, you know, your heart might have failed you. So hockey is his life. Hockey has given him life.
Doctors said he needed 90 days to recover enough to get back on the ice. Those 3 months were spent with the sole intent of returning to his friends and the game he has played since he was 7.
He wrote us a real nice letter, 5 or 6 of us that are, you know, were through the Bruins hockey, just thanking him, like a second life type of thing. And, you know, he had the quadruple bypass, and he comes out here and skates all the time, and he just wanted to thank us for making it so easy. And, you know, it's such a loving group.
I will play until I can't move anymore.
Good work, good work.
I love the sport. I enjoy it. It's a good group of guys. Once you get out on the ice, the rest of the world goes away.
I don't know if you just heard that, Julie. Within the last 2 minutes, we've heard multiple popping sounds. I'm going to get out of the camera. You can see that armored vehicle right there. This has been going on for a couple of hours. And like I said, just within the last 2 minutes, we've heard multiple popping sounds. We're not sure if that's gunfire or if it's some kind of gas that they're using to get this individual out of these woods. Now, this all started in Henrico County. Henrico County officer pulled up on the scene to a single vehicle accident. A short pursuit followed. You can see right here it's happening. You can see the smoke coming out right now, and it's really hard for us to tell what that noise is coming from. So just bear with us because you're watching it live just like we are. But it ended. That pursuit ended in these woods. An individual, a male individual, was armed with a weapon, threatening to harm himself. Well, since then, these officers from all across the region have been trying to talk him out of these woods, out of that vehicle. And just within the last 2 minutes, as we said, you can see that something's happening. That armored vehicle pulled up. We saw a canine come out of that vehicle, and we've heard them repeatedly telling him to get out of the vehicle that he's in beyond those woods. I'm just going to try to listen and see if I can hear what they're saying. Definitely there's communication going on with that individual, trying to bring this to a peaceful end. This, like I said, has been going on for some time. Interstate 95, I don't know if you can show, Dwight, it has just been at a gridlock standstill going both directions, all because of this one individual. We're going to bring this back over here because this is just going on as we speak. If you're just joining us, again, several popping noises coming from this area right here off of Belvedere. They're trying to talk him out of those woods. As this develops, you can hear it just again going off. Again, we're not sure if that is tear gas or if this is coming from a weapon. They asked us to move back for safety reasons, and it's just as soon as we know what's going on or if this comes to a resolution, we will break back in. Working for you tonight in Richmond, Laura French, CBS 6 News.
Electric heater. I won't coming out there without her. I would have died getting her out there.
There is nothing left. Everything they own, gone. But there is one flame thick smoke can't smother.
I'd have lost my life for her. That's how much I love her.
Anthony Moore says his fiancée was in the kitchen when he spotted the fire.
I said, Lois, come here, fire. By that time, it had spread it.
And Dolores Palmer jumped into action.
Ran down the hall, tried to throw water on it. And I ran out the door to get the water hose, so to hook that up to try to use the water hose to put it out.
Palmer also wouldn't go back outside.
I still was trying to get in there so I could get my important things.
But Anthony Moore was persistent.
I told her, come on, ain't no more we could do, but every time I tried to get her, she'll run back and the smoke had crowded us so bad. I just asked God to let me drag her out there, so that's what I did to get her out there.
As temperatures drop, Anthony Moore cautions those with electric heaters.
I advise you, if you burn an electric heater or a kerosene heater, you better pay more attention to what you're doing.
People all the time coming in and out of the office.
Every time Jimmy Kuntz steps outside his Richmond auto body business,
I think it's somebody falling, hurting themselves.
he's reminded of his customers who haven't made it inside without injuring themselves.
Got a great big knot in his head. Bruised knees, bruised elbows, sprains.
The result, he says, of substandard city sidewalks that surround his North Shepherd Street shop. This surveillance video captures one of his regulars tripping on the crooked concrete. Kuntz says the February fall was the 6th time something like this has happened in a matter of months.
I have a lot of repeat customers, and so we care, and so it's bad when they can't get in your business because they're tripping over your sidewalk.
Less than a mile away, Alexander Morgan points to the scar from the tumble he took outside his West Gray Street home.
Excuse me.
But it's the fall his late friend took that brings him to tears.
His hip and his leg is broken, and it's on the spinal cord. And then later he died.
Morgan said his friend Gus never recovered from the injuries he sustained after tripping and falling on this stretch of sidewalk. He says that path desperately needs to be repaired, and he's not alone.
It's life and death for some of our residents, and we've got to take it more seriously and start getting these repairs done.
Richmond City Councilwoman Kim Gray is pounding the pavement to make that happen.
It's really putting a Band-Aid on a serious issue that needs so much more.
She recently sponsored a resolution that added $750,000 to the city's sidewalk maintenance budget. But that just scratches the surface. Transforming this to solid ground will take serious capital funds to fix. And the Department of Public Works says only $200,000 of the $149 million capital budget was set aside this year for sidewalk repairs.
It's all in how the administration prioritizes it. It's very frustrating from the City Council's standpoint.
As of December, more than 200 projects were on this city sidewalk master list that CBS 6 obtained. Sidewalks with a ranking of 20 or higher on a point scale of 40 are prioritized. There are currently 51 of these in Richmond. This is what the top priority looks like, with a ranking of 26.75. Sidewalks on West Gray Street are ranked 17.75 and lower, and don't make the cut of priorities on this list.
We've had major claims against the city for injuries on the sidewalks. We paid out more in claims than we actually had in the maintenance budget. So this is a major concern.
But I mean, look how deep that is.
Like the crumbling concrete back here at Kuntz Automotive that they've spent more than a decade trying to get fixed. Every time another customer falls, another email is sent to the city.
When you call the city, you just get the runaround.
But with the help of Gray, this is now listed as a future capital project.
We reported that 2009, and they just fixed it last year.
The last one Kuntz complained about took 8 years to repair. Unlike this city block in front of the Washington Redskins Training Center, where more than a dozen sections of sidewalk have been replaced. Repairs that business owners say get expedited.
Their sidewalks are pristine. The businesses that pay the taxes, that keep the city going, we can't get anything done.
Which is why he wants a more concrete plan to address the hundreds of complaints about the sidewalks for which the city is responsible. So residents will be seeing more of this and less of this.
Not being able to get in and out of your door in a safe manner on a daily basis is serious.